What if you had a cell phone that you could upgrade to 64 gigabytes? It was as powerful as a netbook, even more powerful, with two processors. It could multi-boot multiple operating systems, but you could carry it all in your pocket. Well, you can with a Nokia N900. Note, I'm not being paid by Nokia to say any of this. Still, I have to shamelessly pimp and share one of the most open cell phones and media tablets I have ever tinkered with. It's an older device, so see if you can pick one up used on eBay for less than half the price of an iPhone. You won't be sorry. It won't replace your sexy iPhone if you have one, but I bet you'll want to carry it around in your pocket with your iPhone if you have one. That is, once you hold the device in your hands. Is it possibly the N gadget? Once again, you can get a Nokia N900 for less than half the price of an iPhone. While not as pretty or ergonomic, you can turn it into a full-blown mini netbook you can carry in your pocket. And I'm not kidding. Run Linux, Windows, and Android all on the same pocket-sized computer. Matter of fact, the N900 has more hardware than an expensive top-of-the-line netbook. It has loud stereo speakers, a front camera for Skype and video calls, a Carl Zeiss 5-megapixel back camera with dual LED flash for still and HD video, a flat-out QWERTY keyboard, touchscreen keyboard, and stylus. It has Bluetooth 2.0, 802.11bg Wi-Fi, quad-band GSM, 720p AV video out to a television or monitor with the included cable. You can receive FM stereo with the data band on the phone, and you can transmit your movies MP3s to an FM receiver in your car or home from the phone. It has an accelerometer, proximity and light sensor, temperature sensor, GPS navigation, 64 gigabytes of storage, and a kickstand for watching movies or using with Bluetooth keyboard. Far more hardware than the most sophisticated netbook out there. It runs full-blown Linux operating systems and multi-boots to multiple partitions. It plays every kind of media. It makes phone calls. It slices. It dices. It juliennes. It is a mighty Swiss Army knife of gadgetness, and if you like to tinker, it will provide you with endless enjoyment and fascination. Remember, this device came out several years ago, yet it still out-gadgets the newest phones. And now the best part. Run Python and shell scripts on a truly open source and open architecture phone. Experiment and learn wireless application protocol and compile C++ and Java on your phone. Plug it into a TV, connect a Bluetooth keyboard, and use it as a laptop. Back of the device, again, here's the 5-megapixel camera. And just a slide-off cover. It's got a flash, which of course has also been used as a video strobe, and it does pretty good, decent resolution video and all kinds of things, but great stills as well. On the side here, here is where the AV cable, you can plug headphones into there, but also the AV and television out cable plugs in there. So you can watch movies and things on your television from your phone. And the cable comes with it. Stereo speaker 1, on the other side stereo speaker 2. Really nice loud sound, by the way. Microphone, again, we talked about the front camera right there. If you can barely see it, the front camera's right there. As well as the proximity sensor. It has an accelerometer. The only thing I did to it hardware-wise, let me pull the cover off here. Got a couple extra batteries for it. Oh, by the way, there's a stand for it too. So if you're watching movies, you can pull the stand out and watch movies, and of course it's a slide-out keyboard. Nice touchscreen keyboard as well. It is resistive touchscreen and not capacitive, but it comes with a stylus built in. And I actually prefer that. I like resistive touchscreens. I don't really need the multi-touch that much. The multi-touch is okay, but I like having the stylus. Gives you a more exact, precise control on what you click on. And in addition, it does gestures for the web browser. It does do flash in the web browser. And gestures, which means you can just take your finger and do it in a swirling motion, counterclockwise or clockwise, and to me that's just as good as a pinch. So I guess it depends on whether or not capacitive is such a big deal to you. But here's the battery, and if I pull the battery out, there's the SIM card. Okay, the SIM card just lifts out. And the only thing I did to it really to upgrade it, it comes with a built-in 32 gigabytes of storage, in addition to like 2 gigabytes of for applications and memory and so forth. But I just put a little 32 gigabyte SD card in here. If I pull this out, that's all. It's just a 32 gig. I don't know if you can see that, if I can focus on that, but that's 32 gigabytes, and that's all I did. So now I have a phone, basically a media player, a laptop that fits in my pocket, with 64 gigabytes of storage. And guys, there are netbooks that don't have that much storage. So it's, you talk about versatility and expandability and all. Granted, I think the iPhone's prettier, it looks better, it's sleeker, it's awesome, but in terms of being a device that you can play with and tinker with and hack and just do all kinds of crazy things with, you can't really beat this. It's just wide open as far as what you want to do with it and what you can do with it. And I can't say it's a great phone, but as far as a laptop you can put in your pocket, it's awesome. Alright, so another thing that I did is I set up multi-boot, and I wanted a phone where I could test different operating systems. And so I'm going to do that, and if I do that, if you open the cover when you boot, it'll give you, in this case I have multiple partitions set up. And I've had like Ubuntu and Migo, and I have Maemo, and now I have Android. Nitroid, sort of the Nokia 900 version of Android, but it's actually running Froyo 2.2. And so I can choose to boot, and I set up partitions on my 32 gigabyte micro SD card. And so that's how I do that. So let's go into Android. It's nice to have one device where I can test Maemo and Android and Ubuntu, Debian, lots of different operating systems. So I'm going to hit 3 to boot into Android. And this will load Froyo. And I'll try to position it there so you can see. And I don't have, for Maemo and Linux and Debian, I had, an X11 server that I ran so I could connect over VNC and give you high resolution images that way, although they were choppy because of the refresh rate. I apologize, I don't have that installed for Android yet. So our only choice is my very poor quality, low resolution webcam. But it'll at least let you see Android 2.2 running on the phone. There's this little boot screen there, nice little matrix effect. Alright. It's now booted into Android. I'm just going to close the phone. Alright, so here's Android. And let me go ahead and unlock the phone. Alright, so it's unlocked. And let me go into apps now. Alright, and then here's apps. And just some Froyo, 2.2 apps I've been messing around with and playing with on the phone itself. Let's go to the market. And just looking at some apps and things on the Android. I'm going to pull out the stylus here. A little bit better with a resistive touchscreen. Although, it handles fingers pretty well as well. And just by category, if I want to, let me look up all applications here. Let's go back to home, and I'm going to go ahead and power off here. Okay, I'm going to make a Skype call real quick, and that's not such an amazing thing for the new iPhones and HTCs and so forth with the front cameras. But mind you, this was several years ago. The Nokia already had a front-facing camera right here, which is VGA quality, as well as the 5 megapixel back camera with the Carl Zeiss lens. And I'm going to go ahead and make a Skype call with it. And again, it's been doing this for years. So while perhaps a new thing for the iPhones and so forth, for an open source device, an open architecture device, it's been, this has been sort of normal for a while. And I'm just going to go to contacts, and it's neat because it's built into the Maemo operating system. Skype and Facebook and Google Voice, so many different things are actually built in. And let me go and find. Actually find C Germany 79 there. Alright, and notice my options here. I'll try to get the camera to focus on that. But I can do a normal call, Over the cell phone network, I can do a Skype call, over GSM or over data, and I can do a video call, Skype video call. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this option here, Skype video call. You see right there, I'm videoing myself here. This over here is me, what's coming through the front camera in VGA, and this is what I'm seeing from the host. Alright, in this case, I'm calling myself on my laptop. So I'm just doing Skype video. And if I can move the camera here to get more light, there, so you can see what the N900 looks like. Echo, feedback, oh my. Here's the AV cable it comes with. And I'm just going to hook it up to the television. Alright, and this is the device hooked up to a television screen. And again, here's the calendar. I'm just using the touchscreen. This is a modified kernel with overclocking. Okay, and just some of the different speeds and things. This is an emulator for old Palm applications. I got it hooked up to the television, so hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to see. And let me pop out the stylus here. Just do the way palms are. Here's an old application that back when I had a Palm device, paid some good money for, and I didn't want to stop using it. It was a $40 program, so it's nice to have the simulator, and this way I can just keep using it, so to speak. And if I open the keyboard and hold Control in the back arrow, this is sort of like the task manager, but notice, it's true multitasking. I can do several things at one time, and I can switch back and forth between jobs, or between running processes. One of the neat things that it has that I don't see on every phone out there, everybody has GPS, and of course it has GPS here. I have Cigic Maps, which does turn-by-turn voice navigation. And, a lot of phones have VNC and remote desktop. That's not really a big deal, but it's kind of neat to have this little built-in FM transmitter, which I see. Let me go into normal mode here. And in normal mode, there's AT&T logo. And I'm going to go to tablet mode, turn my phone network off, since I'm not really going to be making phone calls. And notice it just connected to my wireless LAN. There's my IP address. And I can turn Bluetooth on. And let me go ahead and a little bitty bugging me while I'm trying to get through this. So if I turn this on, I can actually transmit over FM to, if I'm in the car, transmit it to the car speakers, or in the house to the stereo. And it's just a Bluetooth hack. It uses the Bluetooth transceiver to do that. And another interesting hack too, it was, again, just using sort of a Bluetooth hack, I can receive FM radio stations. This is Easy Debian. It pretty much just runs in a loop, sort of a CH root gel. And again, you're not getting the full resolution here, but pretty decent for video out from the phone, eh? And if you can see this, this is pretty much, a full-blown version of Ubuntu. Anything that you would install in Ubuntu, you could install it here. And I've got a command prompt. Let me open that real quick, and I'll use the keyboard. And what we do, and I've got Nmap installed here. Look at some of the Nmap settings. I've got on some of the list here. Image viewer, keyboard, leaf pad, graphics size. I have the GIMP editor, which is nice on your phone. It's got a 5-megapixel camera. And this way I can actually edit documents on the phone when I take a picture or two. But before I want to post it on Facebook or send it to somebody via email. Internet, it's got Iceweasel. I have SSH client and a couple other goodies here. But that lets me look at Java applets and things. So it runs full Java. Of course, it can do Flash. Here's the full version of OpenOffice. So spreadsheets, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, you name it. You do it right there on the phone. Synaptic Package Manager, just like you would on a laptop. I can open up Synaptic and install software. I mean, I could also use apt-get. So it's basically like a little tiny mini laptop with a gigahertz processor and an additional video subprocessor and 64 gigabytes of storage that I can fit in my pocket. Now, how fun is that? Cell phone utility is not too great. If I open the phone here, it's pretty basic. I would not say that the phone features are the strength of this device, but it's everything else that it does. And let's look at some of the applications and things that it runs and emulates. Again, for DOSBox. And then we just enter a DOS command, dir there for DOS. It even has a Commodore 64 emulator. I go to, of course there's Duke Nukem and Doom and all those games. And a lot of the Android games like Angry Birds and things I have. Of course everybody has the obligatory lightsaber based on the accelerometer. Here's some neat apps. Stellarium. And this will render it in real time, hopefully, but also, I'll give you a better quality version since my camera's so bad, using the built-in X server over VNC, but at least you can kind of see here. You can see there's not much lag there at all. And I'm just looking at constellations and things. And I'll turn on the grid. Alright, and I'm going to go back, hit the task manager, and minimize that window. We'll close it out. And let's go and see how Sims runs. Again, I showed you Sims 3 of VNC, but the lag wasn't the phone. The lag is because the X server doesn't, the refresh rate is not that fast. Need for Speed and Asphalt 5 have all those as well. Those are Palm Pre, but here's just on the Sims. Alright, so we'll run that. Let me see if I can turn up the volume there like that. Alright. And you can see it's running fairly smoothly there. Matter of fact, I don't think it runs any better on the Palm Pre. And this is just a Palm Pre emulator in the device. And if you look, I can scroll around, there's no lag at all. 3D processor handles that, I think, better than the Palm Pre does. Seeing as how I'm overclocking it, plus it's got a built-in video processor. So really nice there. And I'm going to go back to multitasking mode. And again, notice I can minimize that. If I wanted to, I could start like another application. Let's say I want to go back and open a command prompt. And from this command prompt, I'm going to get root privileges. So sudo game root. Alright. And let's say I'm just going to, ping Yahoo. And I have, lots of things. I have an nmap and metasploit and a Java compiler and all kinds of things. I'm going to hit Control C to stop my little flood ping there. And then if I want to go back, notice I'm multitasking. I've got two apps running. And I can go back to my game, or bring up the task manager. I can go back to here. It's true multitasking environment. Standard speed of Linux commands. There's nmap. I'm going to do port scans and ping sweeps. And if I want to compile something on the fly, here's a little Java. First off, we'll do Java. And basically this is just a version of ICE-T. And then if I want to do compile Java C, notice the output. Okay. and we'll close out of there, and I'll close out of here, and also if I wanted to, let's look at compiling something in C++. And again, no input files, so you can see that GCC setup. If I had a source file, you could compile it with GCC. And in addition to C, I installed the GNU C++ compiler as well as G++. So all of that is set. In addition, here's my favorite Commodore 64 emulator. My first computer was a Commodore VIC-20, by the way. So it brings back fond memories. Just old basic commands and things. Again, so many emulators, PlayStation and Game Boy and Xbox and whatever you want to install. The operating systems people have put on this device are just mind-blowing in terms of what they've got set up on and hacks and things they come up with. Although iPhone's getting there too with the jailbreaks, and maybe that's another story sometime. Here's the X11 server. I'm not using it now. I'm just using the built-in video out and putting it on the television. But some of what I'm showing you, I'm just using this built-in. It's just an X11 VNC server. So I connect the VNC and gives pretty good resolution, but the refresh is really slow. So just understand when you see that, the device itself is actually pretty peppy. It's not really lagging at all, but the refresh on that VNC can be lagging sometimes.
VNC server. I will connect to the phone over VNC on my laptop.
And this is if you want to use your device as a Bluetooth keyboard.
At least better than my cheap webcam. But remember, the refresh rate will be very slow across the network.
For game console or Xbox, I can use it as a Wiimote, or I can use a Wiimote with it, connect a Wiimote and play games with it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do there. Empty physics, I think everybody's played that before. Brain fart, I can't remember what I was going to do. Well, I'll just scroll through some of the apps here, and you see all the apps and things that I've been playing with. I guess everybody has to, we have to look at Angry Birds, and this is great. Angry Birds on a 42-inch television. From my phone. Oh, boy, that game's awesome. Anyway, so just, as far as gadgets go, truly amazing device. Again, it's not really a phone. If you are looking for a great cell phone, you're probably not going to be impressed with the N900. But if you're looking for an economical kind of Swiss Army knife gadget, for less than half the price of an iPhone, it's an awesome device. And if you put a little tinkering into it, you'd be amazed. It's pretty much a full-blown computer you can carry around in your pants pocket. And how cool is that?